Hey everyone, Tom again. Welcome back to Walk Your Why and welcome back to the slow practice. And this is the last video in this series about the definition of distraction, my definition of distraction. And that definition again is distraction is the redirection of our attention away from our intention or our purpose and toward an attraction. And I want to speak in this video about this term attraction. Why did I use that word, attraction? So attraction, of course, means something that lures us, that compels us to move toward it, right? That we just feel like we have to look at that, right? Or engage it in some way or another, right? So an example would be like a magnet. So like if this tree here beside me was a magnet, and I was wearing a steel outfit, if I was wearing like a knight's outfit, then I would be pulled into that tree. I would just be compelled, lured into that tree in a way that's just, I couldn't, I could hardly prevent it, right? And that's often what's going on. It's like that deep, profound attraction, kind of no matter what we're engaged in at the time. So we might ask ourselves, if in fact in a given moment, I am really focused on my purpose, I'm really intentional, I'm doing something meaningful, and I actually don't want to be distracted, why would I fall for a distraction? Why would an attraction be more attractive to me than my intention, than my purpose? Right? Because that can happen, right? We can be really fully on purpose, fully engaged in something that is very meaningful to us, very purposeful. We don't want to be distracted, and yet we fall into distraction anyway. So that is because we are hardwired, our brains are hardwired to react to certain stimuli, right? We all know the fight, flight, or freeze syndrome, right? Are the ways we react to different stimuli. Like right now, if I heard a big crack and it sounded to me like a limb from this tree was breaking, I would react. I mean, no matter how intentional I am in this recording, you're damn sure I'm gonna react to that because it might fall on my head, right? There's so many different things that cause us to be in reaction to an attraction. Now, distraction, in a sense, could be looked at that way, as a reaction to an attraction. I'm calling it the redirection of attention. The reason I'm saying that is because regardless if it ends up being a reaction to something, right? Something's happening and we just can't help. We're hardwired to react to it some way. Fine, but we know we have a choice. After we've reacted and we realize, oh, that wasn't a branch after all, or whatever, or I reacted and got out of the way of that branch so it didn't hurt me, everything's fine, everything's cool, I can go right back into intention because I'm clear that I was intentional, I was in intention, I was on purpose before that distraction. So I might react. Now, it kind of depends on where we are in our practice in our lives too. Like how nervous are we in general or in this particular moment, right? If we're pretty calm and we're pretty solid and we're confident and we're familiar with our environment, for example, then we may be able to control our reaction to what's happening around us in a much more effective way, right? We might be able to stay in intention or just be in reaction to that attraction very briefly. So our attention will only be very briefly redirected and come right back almost automatically. But for many of us, we fall into that attraction and we don't get back to intention. And especially if we weren't in a clear intention in the first place, right? If we're just going from one thing to another in life and it's one distraction to the next, it's going to be hard for us to really get back to a place of intention. Right? So this all goes to show, to say how important it is for us to create intentionality in our lives and do whatever we can to make the moments in our lives on purpose, intentional. Now that's not to say that some distractions aren't perfectly fine, right? So a common distraction for many of us, unlike a tree limb falling or, a siren going off or something that just really we react to, or, some violent situation happening nearby, right? Where, we are wired to react to that. Unlike that, we also are in reaction, and it's the same kind of reaction when it comes to like marketing. Marketing in general, good marketing is designed to be attractive, right? It's designed to be an attraction. It is totally designed to redirect our attention to it, right? And a lot of that marketing leads us to things like, for example, Netflix. And then once we're watching the Netflix, the programming, right, or the movies are designed to be an attraction. And that's all good. There's nothing wrong with that. It's fine, right? It's fine. And sometimes we just need some downtime and we want to watch our favorite show. That's all fine. But just ask for yourself, just allow yourself sometimes, like for example, when you're watching Netflix or doing something else that's maybe a leisure activity, ask yourself, in this moment, is this a distraction from my intention, or is watching this in this moment actually my intention? Was it fully intentional to watch this? And not only that, but the reason it's intentional, it's on purpose, is because I need this. This is my relaxing time. I enjoy it. It's edifying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But ask for yourself, because for some of us, what happens is we get on the couch, we hunker down, we start watching Netflix, and hours later, and sometimes several bags of potato chips and beers later, we're still watching. And I'm just going to say, if that's the situation, then you might want to bring some more intentionality in your life. More intentionality from the perspective of, what might I be doing now that could be of service to my health, of service to my vision, of service to those I'm here to serve in my work in the world? Right? Is it possible there's something more important for me to be doing now than watching this show, for example, or whatever it is you might be doing? So just allow yourself to ask that question randomly. Oh, here's a moment. What am I doing now? Am I on purpose? Oh, I'm on purpose. Awesome. That is so cool. Oh, it's so great to be on purpose. And you know what? Now that I've reinforced that purpose and reaffirmed it, I'm going to make sure I'm aware so that I don't fall into distraction. That's great. Now, another moment, you might find yourself, oh, wow, I am so in distraction right now. I am so glad I checked in, because now, I'm going to go back to being on intention, right? So play with this, have fun with it, and explore for yourself, and ask yourself some hard questions like, do I feel like a lot of my life now is in distraction that I don't want in my life, that I'd rather have more of that time spent in intention, or I'll say invested in intention? You might hear me say spending time in distraction, or investing time in intention. So think about that for yourself. See what you come up with. You might want to use like a scale, like in my life right now. And I love checking in on this in a moment, right? In a particular moment, whatever day, whatever time. Okay, right now, what is my assessment about distraction? Like, was I in distraction before I took this moment to check in? And kind of where on that scale is my life? If I took a snapshot of my life now, have I been like 50% in distraction, 50% on purpose? Has it been 90% on distraction? Has it been 90% on purpose? This can be really helpful, especially for those of you who really want to be living on purpose, living with intention, and not being pulled into just another attraction. Let's make our purpose, our intention, our main attraction. How about that? I'd love to hear your feedback, and I look forward to seeing you along the trail. Happy trails. Walk your why.